Jesse, let us begin with debugging.
Sure, Harry.
What is debugging in software development?
Debugging is the process of identifying, analyzing, and removing errors in software code. It's crucial because it ensures the software functions correctly and efficiently, which directly impacts user experience. A practical example is finding a null pointer exception in Java, which can crash an application. The limitation is that debugging can be time consuming. As to our mengen market absurdness and dahinter Somingtutoke Kendao D E B E B L L.
Key concepts here are debugging, error handling. Explain its significance with real-world examples. Common mistakes candidates make here are underestimating the time required for debugging. What are common debugging techniques?
Common debugging techniques include using print statements to track variable values, employing a debugger to step through code line by line, and performing code reviews with peers. Each method addresses different error types, but print statements can clutter code, leading to maintenance issues.
Key concepts here are debugging techniques, print statements, debugging tools. Discuss pros and cons of each technique. Common mistakes candidates make here are relying solely on one method. Why is logging important in debugging?
Logging is essential as it records the application's runtime behavior, helping in tracking anomalies after deployment. For example, if an application crashes in production, logs can reveal the sequence of events leading to the failure. However, excessive logging can slow down performance.
Key concepts here are logging, runtime behavior, performance monitoring. Mention various logging levels and their uses. Common mistakes candidates make here are neglecting log management. How do automated tests help in debugging?
Automated tests verify code functionalities and catch bugs early in the development process. They are invaluable in regression testing, ensuring new changes don't introduce new bugs. However, poorly written tests can lead to false assurances if they do not accurately reflect the application behavior.
Key concepts here are automated testing, regression testing, software quality. Highlight the importance of writing effective tests. Common mistakes candidates make here are not updating tests with code changes. What is the difference between static debugging and dynamic debugging?
Static debugging involves analyzing code without executing it, using tools like linters to catch syntax errors. Dynamic debugging occurs during runtime, allowing the examination of live behavior. While static debugging can find certain issues early, dynamic debugging reveals runtime errors not detectable otherwise.
Key concepts here are static debugging, dynamic debugging, code analysis. Define both methods clearly and compare effectiveness. Common mistakes candidates make here are neglecting the benefits of both. How do you debug a function that returns none unexpectedly?
First, I check the function's control flow. I would add print statements to inspect the input parameters and any conditional statements that might lead to a none return. If the return statement is reached but returning none, I review the return logic and make sure it's executed properly. I would also run unit tests with different inputs to ensure coverage and look for edge cases like empty lists.
Key concepts here are function debugging, control flow analysis. Discuss various debugging strategies. Common mistakes candidates make here are ignoring corner cases. Identify the call of an index out of range error in this list processing function.
To debug an index out of range error, I'd first check how the indices are being accessed. I would ensure that any loops accessing the list are within the bounds. For instance, if accessing list T, ID check that I never exceeds the list length. I'd also print the indices being used before access to track the source of the error.
Key concepts here are index handling, looping through lists. Explain common index errors in Python. Common mistakes candidates make here are not validating list length before access. You have to debug a recursive function that is not terminating.
To debug a non-terminating recursive function, I'd examine the base case to ensure it correctly stops the recursion. If the base case condition isn't being met, the recursion will continue indefinitely. I would also add logging statements to monitor the recursion depth, making it easier to spot the failure in reaching the base case.
Key concepts here are recursion, base case validation. Discuss how to structure recursive calls safely. Common mistakes candidates make here are failing to define the base case. Debug a function that sorts a list but results in incorrect order.
First, I will review the sorting logic to identify any incorrect comparisons or swaps. If it's a bubble sort, checking the logic of adjacent element comparisons is crucial. I'll add print statements to show the list before and after each pass to understand how items are being altered. This helps track where the logic deviates from sorting correctly.
Key concepts here are sorting algorithms, list manipulation. Discuss the importance of algorithm choice in sorting. Common mistakes candidates make here are not handling edge cases properly. You have to debug asynchronous code that does not execute in order.
To debug asynchronous code, I check for await statements that may be missing, causing functions to execute out of order. Additionally, I would look for race conditions where multiple tasks might be trying to access shared resources. Debugging tools with async capabilities can help visualize the order of execution.
Key concepts here are asynchronous programming, concurrency issues, explain async issues concisely and how to resolve them. Common mistakes candidates make here are neglecting proper await usage. That concludes the interview.
Thank you, Hari.
Subscribe for more technical insights. For such content, do like, subscribe, and share.